Hey guys, it's me, Idris. You guys know one thing, that when you hear my voice, that means that there's some Patriots or there's a little bit of coffee on the horizon. Well, guess what? We got a little bit of both. Guys, up first, we have two returning Patriots. We have Al. Al, you walked away, and then you decide, wait a second, I'm not done yet. And you came right back to Patreon. Thank you for coming back. We love you. We hear you. We are one. Thank you for being a Patriot once again. And then we have Courtney Z. Courtney, just like Al, you walked away. You said, wait a second, maybe I'm just on double back right quick, and I'm just going to get a little more before I head up out of here, which is never. Either way, thank you for being a Patriot once again. Thank you for being returning Patriots. And thank you to all the Patriots out there and the Patriots of the future. We love you. And now we're going to walk over to coffee. Now, if you don't know what coffee is, it's a platform where you can donate a little bit to me and Popcorn. It could be, $5, it could be $10, it could be $1,000 if you want to do that. We'd appreciate it. You don't have to, but please, if you got it like that, do it. Coffee, ko-fi.com/medium popcorns. We could, show a little love. So our coffee, donation comes from Caro, Karo, Caro. I love that. I love that for you. Thank you for the donation. We love you. We appreciate you. Guys, enjoy the content. Keep loving the show as we keep loving on you. Peace. Medium popcorn. This is a month where Brennan and Justin review something dark. Brandon screams out, "Oh God!" just when the horror's about to start. You wanna scream, but only 'cause it's such a bad movie. You're so unpleased, need a podcast 'cause hate is in your eyes. Well, we are those guys, 'cause this is Medium Popcorn. Brandon and Justin save you from the dog shite. You know it's Medium Popcorn. Join us as we lose our minds at these thriller killer films.
This is a story about a podcast that tries to break down crazy movies. Sometimes they say insightful things. Sometimes it's kind of creepy. But a lot of people die in weird ways on this podcast. I'm Eddie Collins.
In this film, we're exploring a world that this actually happened. Did it actually happen? I don't think so. But through this podcast, you're going to find out. I'm Justin Brown.
You restarted for that? That was terrible. Yeah, you nigga. I'm so lost. I'm lost too. But what is it?
Nigga, you lost. You're bad. Your shit was bad. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have it.
I've never seen Justin get so defensive. He's squirming in the chair. Folks, you guys subscribe to YouTube, guys.
Ooh, no. Ooh, no.
So quickly every little bit.
Oh, boy.
All right, our producer Lluvia hasn't seen Weapons, so she's like, I don't know what's going on. So Lluvia, this movie has like a little bit of narration. It's by this really creepy like young girl who's telling us kind of like what's going on. She basically breaks down what happened. So Weapons is written and directed by Zach Cregger, who gave us Barbarian, a surprise hit, a movie that we both really enjoy. We reviewed on this podcast. I think it's on Patreon at this point, patreon.com/medium popcorn. And basically one Wednesday night in the small town in Pennsylvania, 17 kids from an elementary school, third grade class, all leave their houses at 2:17 a.m. and just disappear. And the next morning, only one student is in that classroom of the teacher, Justine Gandy, played by Julia Garner. It's this kid named Alex, and it's the creepiest. It's such a brilliant premise. And apparently, Zach Cregger, what he does is he comes up with these premises. Like he did the same thing with Barbarian, and then he'll just work from that. And that's kind of similar to my process. So, dude, that premise alone, if I'm a studio person, I'm like, I want to know more. Like, I may not want to be like, I want to buy that, but I want to know more. And so when actually see weapons and you see what happens, and you get to that third act, I'm like, that was why there was a bidding war for this story.
Yeah.
I told Tati that. I was like, as soon as we got to the third act with the kids, like chasing a glass, and we'll explain all this if, you're unclear about what's happening. I leaned over to Tati, I'm like, that's why he had a huge bidding war for this. He sold the script for $38 million. I'm like, because that's such an original idea, and you don't see that stuff in horror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But let's go
and
to
then also we didn't necessarily have to see that. We didn't start with that. This whole movie starts with the aftermath. And it starts like weeks after. So which is wild in its own right.
Yeah, we don't even really learn what's really going on and what's behind the kid's disappearance. I'd say until right before the third act.
Yeah.
That's when Aunt Gladys pops in. Like before that, it's not non-linear. So we're seeing a few different characters. So we followed Julie Gardner's character, Justine. She's this teacher who's dealing with the fallout of all of her kids disappearing overnight.
But one.
Yeah, but one. She has issues with alcoholism. So she's like kind of like teetering with that. This obviously exacerbates that because she's getting harassed by teachers. Josh Brolin's the main parent that's also harassing her. Rightfully so, though. Like, not that like him harassing her and writing witch and spray and paint on her car is right, but like these are parents that are looking for answers. And I would love to hear from your perspective, Justin, of what you would do. Because also this takes place in a small town. It's kind of like a little bit suburban feel and stuff. And one class of 17 kids just disappeared fucking overnight, and no one knew where they went. And even the security cameras don't tell you where they ended up. Like, how fucked up would you be as a parent of one of those kids?
Well, I mean, I feel like I would turn into like the Josh Brolin's character in this like, I'm going to find my son one way or another. And I'm also black as shit in the fucking like white and Asian neighborhood. So I'd probably end up in prison. So it wouldn't go well for me as well as it went for him. But like, I don't think that I would blame the teacher. I think that that's jumping to a weird conclusion for no reason. It's like, oh, she has something to do with it. Like that never tracked with me. But like I would be the guy harassing the police constantly. Like, why haven't you guys nothing? You're telling me you have absolutely fucking nothing. You've got nothing on this. You should be knocking on every fucking door. Like, what's going on?
And it's like a month, folks. Like, so the thing is that threw me off. It was almost it almost felt like, this is kind of a weird comp, but it almost felt like Endgame. Like when I didn't know what to expect. Like that's one thing I like about Zach Cregger's movies. I get a little taste of what's happening, but I don't fully know what to go, like what I'm getting when I'm going into the movie. And when it went to a month later into the investigation, there's still no leads. I'm like, wait. Because when a missing child goes, is kidnapped.
Anything first 48.
What's the timeline? 48 hours.
Yep.
I was like, a month? I was like, well, obviously they're not going to kill all these kids because that's a real dark movie, right? Like, there's no commercial appeal with that. But I was like, okay, so what's going on? And it took Josh Brolin's character. He plays a character named Archer, who runs a construction company. It takes him kind of looking at, like, he goes to different families and tries to get their footage. So we even get like a Justin Long cameo and stuff like that. He tries to get their security footage so he can see an idea of what direction all the kids are running, which is insane that the police didn't do it. But they also kind of hint that the police department's kind of incompetent. And like, because we see the one dude played by Alden Ehrenreich, right? Who plays Paul, who's like Justine's ex-boyfriend / recovering alcoholic who relapses and also ends up fucking her, even though he's married to June Diane Raphael, which was nice to see her pop up. And yeah, he's kind of a mess. and he gets stabbed multiple times by a homeless guy played by Austin Abrams, who like that becomes a whole
Wow.
thing.
I mean, that's also hilarious.
I mean, Tati
That guy
said
was
when we were
hilarious.
watching it, she said that that's the cop's biggest fear when he's like, patting him down. It's like, do you have anything that could prick me or anything like that? And he's like, no. And then he gets pricked with a syringe. Tati's like, that's like a cop's biggest fear.
Yeah, because that's how you get AIDS.
Yeah, she's like, it's not getting shot. It's like a needle pricking you or something pricking you that you're not expecting on a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he like takes off he's like, fuck, do you have anything? And he punches the guy in the face.
Yeah, immediately punches. But at the same time, that's a natural react. Like I'm not. It's actually not a natural reaction. But I could see like you get pricked. And you're just like, fuck. I just got pricked with a hypodermic fucking needle, and then you immediately hit this person. It's just like I just asked you. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. And also Austin Abrams, his character James, he looks dirty and like if he's shooting up, that's not going to be some clean veins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not clean needles.
Yeah. And then when he gets stabbed in the face by James as well, when he scares him in the tent. I mean, this movie, folks, is actually quite funny. And that helps because Zach Cregger was part of a sketch comedy group called The Whitest Kids You Know. And they were the whitest kids you know. Which, I think some people maybe have some issues with the fact that there aren't any people of color really in his movies. Well, actually, no. The lead in the first one, she was a light-skinned woman. Very cute and beautiful. Blanking on the actress's name, though. But this movie had Benedict Wong, who plays the principal, who might be the worst character in this movie. Because the principal had the opportunity to nip this all in the butt. Or at least for the town. This is kind of fucked up to say. So the principal not following procedure, and actually when the parents didn't show up for Alex and this crazy old lady named Gladys shows up, like, you know what I mean? Like, he should have immediately done a wellness check because Julia Garner's character, remember, she's like, hey, there's something going on with Alex. I don't know what it is. His house is kind of weird. And then, like, because the principal calls for the parents to come in, and because Aunt Gladys has them in that fucking catonic state, they don't go. She shows up, and she's fucking crazy, dude. She looks nuts. And so, like, he immediately should have called the authorities to go to the house. Or he should have gone himself. You know what I mean?
I mean, true. That is very true.
He let it slide, and then she came to his house, which is a huge red flag. I don't know why the hell he would let her in the house, even though she was like, I missed my bus and I got a dry throat. I'm like,
he wasn't trying to let her in the house. His partner did.
Yeah, well, yeah. He lived to regret that.
Yeah,
that's a rough way to go.
Yeah.
That's a rough way to go. You offer water to this Wendy's looking crazy old
bowl
chick.
like she's a fucking dog. She asked for it in a bowl. I was immediately like, it's like a bowl, please. I'm just like, nope, you gotta go.
Yeah, and once someone takes out a thorny stick and spits in water, it's like, like I immediately knew. I was like, this is some voodoo witchcraft shit.
So also, actually, hold on. I got to get this out because when we were watching the movie and I'm seeing side profiles, and then something caught me. And I realized something, and it's been bothering me. And I said it to Paula, and Paula immediately started laughing, which validates this.
Okay.
Julia Garner, she looks like fucking Justin Timberlake with a wig on. Pull up a picture with her.
I can see that.
It's uncanny.
She makes a face where she does, that's funny.
Just like Justin Timberlake with a wig on. Like, I was just like, why? Because it was starting to bother me.
Way better actor. Way better actor.
Yes, very much so. But I was just like, bro, like it was fucking me up. I was like, what? Who does she look like? And I was just like, oh my God, it's Justin Timberlake.
She's really good at reborn. Yeah, she's really good at repressed rage that eventually gets released. She's really good at portraying that, like the inner turmoil, and then eventually, because we saw that in Ozark. Remember when she's like, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to fucking kill me. That was great. Man. That was great, man. They were like, this chick is crazy. Yeah, R.I.P. to that character. That whole family got cut. It was like a family curse, right? Yeah, remember? Remember because she kills the cartel dude because he killed her cousin, and then his mom's the one that kills her.
Oh,
Fucking her up,
that's yeah, yeah,
remember?
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. You're
All
right.
right,
You're
folks,
right.
spoiler alert, but it's still a
Sorry,
good
guys.
show. If you haven't seen Ozark, you
Yes.
should definitely watch it.
Yeah, yeah. You should watch it. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, so Justine, she basically gets put on administrative leave after about a month because there's still no like the people just don't trust
Resolution.
her. Yeah, people just
Yeah.
don't trust her. Like stuff about her past has come out a little bit, like how she was transferred to the school, is she even qualified? She has alcohol problems, blah blah blah. All that stuff comes out. So she's getting harassed at her house constantly. Um, and then she starts scoping out Alex's house because again, he's the only kid from her class that didn't disappear. So it's like, well, what the hell is that? What's the reason behind that? She goes to his house, sees it all like papered up and stuff like that. And remember, folks, this is all non-linear. So we see various perspectives, sometimes replaying the same
Yes.
scene, but from different perspective. And so we
Yes.
see
So
her.
mind you, hold on. I'm sorry. Just hold on to put a pin in that. So Lluvia in the chat, she said, I did not watch this. What is this about? It's because it's non-linear, it's hard to just drop in, this is what it is, because it jumps, but it jumps in a way which it's not convoluted at all.
Yeah, we can
It
break it
all
down.
makes
I think
sense.
we could break
Yeah.
it down in 2 paragraphs for you, right? And any listener that's like, I haven't seen Weapons, I don't know what's about. So basically, it's about this kid Alex, who his parents welcome like this estranged aunt named Gladys. Supposedly the mom's aunt, but she claims that she actually never met this woman. So, but she comes because she comes to stay with them because she's sick, and she's this
Mhm.
very like shrill, frail older lady, and she's really creepy. She has a creepy voice, a creepy demeanor, and she basically like she's in the house for I say maybe a day or two before the parents start acting really weird. They start going like through like almost in a catonic state and stuff like that, and like they're just acting very
Catatonic.
strange. And then Glass basically says like, Alex, you don't want anything bad to happen to your parents, right? And Alex is like, what do you mean? And she makes the mom. She uses the stick with like hair from the parents, and she basically uses the stick with like some blood and like this curse to make the mom start stabbing herself in the face with forks.
No, the mom and the dad.
And the dad. That's right. They were both stabbing themselves in the face with forks. So she's like, I can make them stop. And Alex is like, please make them stop. And so basically, Alex is forced to support Gladys in her. I guess she's using the victims like their energy to feel
Their
better.
life force.
Right?
She's using their life force.
Yeah, it's not quite clear that that's what's happening, but you just assume that that's what's happening with like. And so basically, what she does is she makes Alex. He has to feed his parents because they're in a catonic state. He has to feed them applesauce, or is it soup?
Soup.
Or soup, right? Soup.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking applesauce?
Chicken noodle soup.
I watched another movie recently. Was it Alien Earth? There was something I recently watched where someone was like catonic and they had to feed this person like applesauce. It was
It's
disgusting.
catatonic. They're in a catatonic state.
What am I saying?
Catonic.
Catonic, catastrophic. You know how English works. But basically, she's like, Alex, I want you to go to your school and I want you to collect a personal thing from each student in your class. And basically, when the kids are transitioning to like another activity out of their classroom, he like, because all the kids have little cubbies, right? So he grabs their name tags from every cupboard because it has DNA from all the kids. He doesn't know what this is for yet, but then he gives them to Gladys. And basically, Gladys does this curse where she's able to get all the kids to come to the house and she puts them all in the basement. Like it puts them in a catonic state where they go do that weird run that everyone's seen in the trailers. And they go to Glass's house and
They're doing an anime run.
And they're basically all downstairs in the basement, like fucking Blair Witch Project. And she's just siphoning their source.
Life force. So,
Yeah.
and so at one point she's like, and this, she's been there for a while and she's kind of, doing what she's doing to parents. But then, he comes to the room one night and she's obviously very sick. She's not doing well. She's like, I'm very sick. I thought, your parents would help, but it doesn't seem like it's enough. So I'm going to need you to do, me a favor. And so basically 17 kids from his class, she gets every single one of them. And then that's, nuts.
Completely
So
insane.
basically everything after, after that point is most of the movie. And then we slowly start like kind of trickling back once we get to Alex, closer to the third act. And then you find out what actually happened that led up to all of this.
What's going on?
And then, then the final act is,
Yeah, because before that, we're seeing some creepy shit. We're seeing Julia Garner. She's hiding out because she's getting drunk and she's just scoping out Alex's house. At one point, she passes out. And then we see the mom creepily come out the house, and like Julia Garner's passed out, and she comes to, it's the creepiest, it's one of the creepiest scenes in the movie, and she cuts off a strand of Julia Garner's hair, and it goes away. But you're like, you think something worse is even going to happen to her, but it's just quick cut of the hair, and she runs back to the house, right? Josh Brolin has he has a dream of like a gun floating over his house, and he couldn't save his kid. But then he has a quick flash of Gladys in the woods, and he does a quick jump scare. He wakes up, he's like, "What the fuck?" And like mad people in the theater laughed at that because we were like, "What was that?"
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like I said, this movie is like has some really funny moments. Like when Benedict Wong gets possessed, which we'll talk about that in a second, like in more detail. When he gets possessed and chasing her around that gas station inside, and Julia Garner goes to the gas station attendant, she's like, "Fucking help me!" Like,
what? He's like, "Get out of my store!" It's like, what are you?
Yo, when Josh Brolin slammed into him, into like
tackled him into the fucking freezers.
Going, holy shit, man!
Oh, he didn't keep on going too far after that.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like Zach Cregger, like this guy's got a promising career. Like whether it's in horror, like he just got a promising career in film because the way he paced things and the way he like he subbed the shots was really effective. Yeah. Like I thought that whole sequence at the gas station was really, really good. And then with the principal getting ran over, that was gnarly.
Yeah. No, he got Meet Joe Blacked.
Yeah, he did.
I was not prepared. I was just like, when he was running, because I think we're all assuming Josh Brolin's going to run this dude down. Because he's running after Julia Garner's car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so like not pretty well.
Huh? Yeah. He's moving. And then all of a sudden, bow. And like I think the cool thing about it is, the camera pans back to Josh Brolin and like him, like, his expression to what he just saw. And then, from his point of view, he gets out of the car and then you see the woman who just hit him step out of the car and looking back and she's just losing her shit. Bro, like it was like those scenes. Well, and then you finally see the aftermath of what happened to his, like, bro, it was, they did a great job. They did a great job at like turning, using the camera. It's even hard to explain how fucking solid it is.
And it was interesting because like there's some things like some people complain about like the whole thing, the storyline of Paul, and like he's recovering alcoholic and then has this affair and his like wife finds out, and then he has these run-ins with James, who's like a homeless drug addict, and like he's breaking into people's houses. But then that pays off because James inadvertently breaks into Alex's house and he's stealing silverware, goes down to the basement and finds all these kids just standing around fucking like zombies, and he's like, wait a minute, and then he remembers it's a reward. So then he goes to the police station, and of course, that's when he runs into Paul. And he gets chased, but then he convinces Paul, like, hey, I know where these kids are. And so they go to the house, and then they get fucked up, though.
He's like, sir, how do I know that you're not just going to run away with all this reward money?
That was so funny. Yeah. He just thinks everyone's a piece of shit. Also, Zach Cregger said that Magnolia is a big influence. Paul Thomas Anderson's second feature film was a big influence on this movie. And you could definitely tell with the nonlinear stories, how it all comes together. But even the way that Paul addressed the police officer, that's exactly John C. Reilly's character in Magnolia, with the mustache and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And also, shout out to Carrie Christopher, the kid that played Alex. Yo, this has been a good year for these young actors. I don't know if you saw Adolescence, Justin. That Owen Cooper kid is he's a beast.
Oh, no, I didn't see it yet.
That might be tough for you as a dad. That might be really tough for you as a dad of sons. I was going to say a dad of father.
5? Like what?
No, a father. It's stupid.
Of a dad of
yeah, exactly. That's insane. But dude, that show, like, I know it's like it's super hyped and everything. Tati and I were floored by that show. It's 4 episodes and they're heavy as fuck, but Owen Cooper is all one shots, right? And it's like elaborate, like it's very intense. Like, but the 3rd episode is just Owen Cooper, like his character with a child psychologist, and he is fucking all the different emotions, and he like goes from being charming and cute and innocent to being like, oh, this is like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Like, so also Alex, the kid who played Alex, actually, no, like they both had like different challenges, but the kid who played Alex, I thought was really good. Because he's got to be a kid that he can't give away too much. You can't raise too much suspicion. Otherwise, Gladys is like, I'm gonna kill you and your parents.
Yeah.
Right. And also your classmates at this point. Um, and she threatens to take him with her too.
Well,
Like
she
she's like,
was gonna take him at the
yeah,
end.
that's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're stuck
Also,
with this person. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of shit going on.
yeah, I got a question about the possessions because when Julia Garner, Justine, and Archer finally team up, because Archer sees Benedict Wong in this fucking like crazy feral state, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so they're like, "It has to lead to Alex," and he's able to, like I said, use the different footage from all the other parents and stuff like that to basically figure out they were all going this direction. Julia Garner's like, "That's Alex's house. That's in the direction of Alex's house." So they go together, and that's when they get attacked by like possessed Paul and James. And Paul was getting rocked. I jokingly told someone yesterday at an event, we were talking about weapons. I was like, spoiler alert, everybody. I was like, it's kind of good that Paul got shot and like died, because if he had gotten out of that state, he's still going to be in a world of hurt. His marriage is going to be over. He got hit across the face with a cast iron skillet. Like, you know what I mean? Like
the potato peeler?
that in his face too. Yeah, he's had a bad day. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't think if life's gonna be better. Post comatose. You know what I mean? So it's probably for the best that he went out the way he did.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that was nasty, dude. That was gnarly when she peeled his face. I mean, but she's trying to because these people don't stop. That's what's so creepy about the possession. Like, you literally have to like kill them in order to get them to stop.
I mean, it's like they're it's actually kind of like they're high on like meth and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that being an influence on it.
You want to have story time with Uncle Justin? Here's a story. So my karate teacher back in the day, this dude
did not see that coming.
Yeah, bro. So Pete, Sensei Pete, this motherfucker did not look like the dude.
What? His name was Sensei Pete?
No, his name was Pete. It's Peter, but it's like, you put Sensei in front of it. This is instructor.
Sure. Okay.
So Sensei Pete did not look like the dude that you would worry about. He was probably your height, but pretty as fuck. Like, like a pretty boy. But this motherfucker could rumble. Like, and he hit like a fucking ton of bricks, right? And fast as shit. He told a story about his younger sister had a party at their house. So he and his friend were kind of just like watching the door and things like that, making sure shit didn't go left. And then these kids showed up who are obviously high on something. And so I'm like, you can't come in. He's like, then there's like four of them. And then, basically they tried to attack him. And so he had to defend himself. And he was just like, I kept on fighting these kids and they kept getting up because they were so fucking high. He's like, they kept getting up. He's like, and then it got to the point where it's just like, I'm going to have to really hurt them now just to try to put them down. And again, like, I've been kicked, I've been punched by this man. And I was just like, so he's like, I had to start going full tilt and they still kept getting up. I'm just like, that nigga going full tilt on somebody, on like a fucking, let's say a 17-year-old kid who's fucking high, like, drugs must be something fucking nuts. Because I've been hit by this guy and this motherfucker is crippling power. And imagine you're 17 years old and you're getting fucking hit by that guy and he's not fucking holding back, to a point where somebody hit one of these guys over a head with a bottle. And he's like, oh, I saw the blood streaming down. And then the guy, he just got up and just came right at me. He was like, they were like fucking zombies.
That's
like, I was like, yeah, that's so fucking scary. But also knowing the person who's in this and knowing what he can do, I'm just like, that is probably the scariest thing. It's like, yeah, never fight a crackhead. Never fight a crackhead. You ain't gonna win, nigga.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really scary. But that's what when they were in that I think I forgot the word you use. It was almost like a
Fugal.
Feral. That fugal. What the fuck? You just making up words, nigga. No, we're in that feral state. I like that. Like, that's the first thing that jumped to my mind. Is just like, it's like, it comes like, a crackhead. Yeah. It's nuts, bro. Like that. So I was like, because when they kept going, I was just like,
That'd be funny if like
But-
Zach Cregger like eventually is like, yeah, like I knew a crackhead named Smiley. That was the influence behind the super strength and like, resilience of the.
So where did you come up with this thing? So there was this dude named Pete. We call him Sensei Pete. But I think what was really funny was when the crackhead played by Austin Abrams kept on coming at Josh Brolin. He's just throwing him across the room.
Yeah, he was
But
just
he's
like,
like,
yeah, he wouldn't stop. Yeah. Oh, Austin Abrams is actually going to be so Zach Cregger's next movie. He's going to be doing an adaptation of Resident Evil, and I think we talked about this maybe offline about how that could be interesting. And also, they just announced today Paul Walter Hauser is joining. So I'm like,
Jesus.
I'm interested. I'm interested because I love everything he's in. I love that guy.
Yes.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
So, and Zach Cregger has earned enough goodwill with these first two movies where I'm like, I'll give everything he does a chance unless it's like absolutely catastrophic, right?
Yeah.
And also like he has great influences. Like for this, he cited Delia Villeneuve's Prisoners movie as a major visual influence. That's why it's kind of like grainy and like, very somber and rainy. And he said that he actually got guidance from David Fincher on prep and post-production with editing, lenses, ADR, technical refinements and stuff. That's why, when you have that access and you have that mentorship, which not everyone does, like it really can help. Like I love when Ryan Coogler talked about like, he was like, yeah, like I got a lot of like support from Christopher Nolan and like how to shoot an IMAX and all these things. Like I think more directors talking about how they help each other in the industry just like helps people get over the stigma of like, I need to know everything or it's my way or no way. I mean, you always have to be open to new ideas and other advice, Are you paying attention, Kevin Costner?
How dare you?
I can't believe he told Steven Spielberg, like, but he didn't tell him verbatim, but he's just like, yeah, fuck your advice. I'm going to shoot water over the water.
I'm Steven Spielberg, bitch.
So there's been this rumor, and like I've heard mixed things from my folks at Universal about this. So apparently Universal and Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw almost secured the rights to this film, but their offer was $7 million lower than New Line Cinema, which ended up getting it. And Peele even considered covering the gap, but Universal pulled back. And Jordan Peele reportedly later parted ways with his management. Now, I've heard conflicting reports about that. The management thing was completely separate than what happened here. But there was a huge bidding war for this script. I remember reading in the trades about this script. Everyone was like, yo, Zach Cregger has a new story out. Like everyone's excited about it. And apparently Warner Brothers, he sent the script out on January 23rd, 2023 at 8 a.m. And by 9:30 a.m., Warner Brothers CEO Mike DeLuca reached out to try to close a deal with him. I mean, if you have hot new talent and Barbarian is that big of a hit, like a sleeper hit, like you want to like see if this thing, and if you got to the last 30 pages, even if you skip, right? Because in Hollywood, what they tend to do is they read the first 12 pages, they'll skip like 30 pages, and they'll go towards the end and see like how everything kind of lines up. And if like they're intrigued, they're going to go back and read more, right? So I imagine if like they followed that same formula, you get the last like 15 pages, and it's like these kids are fucking chasing down their oppressor and ripping her apart in the front yard.
Like, what?
And I've seen a lot of movies, and I like a lot of movies. Sinners is still my number one film of the year. One Battle After Another might be the second. Dude, that chase scene with the kids, because when Alex is tying the hair, right? He's tying Glass's hair on the stick, right? And I remember watching this in the movie theater with Tati, and she's like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "He's about to do something crazy." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Watch." And then he broke it, and then it took me a minute to like compute what was going to happen. And then once you start hearing all the kids screaming, as Gladys is like gloating about Josh Brolin choking out Julia Garner because she's able to like possess him at one point, it's like all his lost moment. And Gladys, they looked at that old that actress gave, which she should be Oscar nominated for this performance. It's a great performance.
Wow, she's
nuts. With the look that she made, when she's like, "Oh no," as she starts running, and you hear those kids barging up the stairs, and they start breaking through the windows and doors, chasing after this old lady.
Nigga.
Our producer Lluvia is like, I haven't watched this movie yet. I'm scared. I don't know if I want to. It's scary. I'm like, I hate that. Like we're kind of spoiling this because visually, it is like if you don't know what's coming, it is one of the most fun climaxes to like a horror film I've seen in a long, long time.
It actually is very reminiscent of like anime.
Really?
It's
That's how
a
crazy it
very
is.
it's a very anime-esque type chase scene in a way. Just the fact that like she's running and the fucking it's like she's being chased by a monster or monsters, and they're like bursting through walls, through windows, and shit like that. They all fucking compile on the fence, which knocks the fence over, and then they fucking just stumble up and they just come running. Like it's a very anime-esque kind of feel to it.
I got to shout out Zach Cregger because I think only someone who's done comedy and has performed comedy and like written sketch comedy could pull this off. Because I think there's some directors that might take it too seriously that could like dilute the comedy of an old lady running through people's homes. And also, I love the little touch that Glass closes the door. She barged into this one neighbor's house. She closed the door and then she went and then closed the door again because I just keep running. I just keep running to get away from them, right? And then just the fact that she did it, and all the kids are just barging through like they're Kel Mitchell and Good Burger. And then
that's a fucking Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, when they barge through that one black family's house, they're like, the couple's just like, what? The guy's mowing his lawn. He sees this old lady run, and then a bunch of kids just chasing after her. And then you have that one like over the head shot with the one kid chasing her, bursting through the window. Like you see kind of her POV before she tackles Glass on the front lawn. And then they rip this old lady limb to limb and rip her face apart. Whew, that was satisfying. That was great.
And it was so satisfying because she was so deplorable as a character.
Yeah, she's a terrible person. And shout out to the actress. What I gotta make sure I shout out her name, Amy Madigan. Fantastic job. She's 75 years old.
Yep.
I really hope that she gets some kind of awards recognition because she is so fucking scary, and that makeup they gave her physicality, how evil she came off. She's so menacing.
That's Ed Harris's wife.
What?
Yeah, she's been married to Ed Harris since 1983.
Oh, shit. Okay. Man, shout out to Ed Harris, by the way. Very underrated actor.
Yeah.
Never won an Oscar.
Yeah, but she's a Golden Globe award winner. She's nominated for Academy Award and an Emmy, in her day. So I mean, she's been doing the thing for a while. But obviously, yeah.
She might get something for Best Supporting Actress because it's a pretty small field right now from what I've seen. It's a very memorable performance. I mean, there's definitely going to be some costumes.
Yeah. I mean,
the crazy red hair, that red wig,
nuts, fucking nuts.
Yeah, and you be like, you know what? You gotta watch the movie. People, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, you gotta watch the movie. Don't Google Gladys from Weapons. Just watch the movie. I'm sure you've probably seen some memes at this point, but you just gotta see, because the woman that introduces us to Glass is the secretary of the principal, and she's like, Principal Marcus, your 2:00 is here, and she makes a face where he's like, "What's the problem?" And then this crazy lady comes in. He's like Benedict Wong played that perfectly. He was like, "Is this a real person?"
He's like, "Oh, hello."
She said, "Hi." She said, "I'm Gladys. I know the parents are disposed. They're sick."
That's the wildest.
Yeah,
that was wild. That was wild.
You was asking what streamer service would this probably be on? Probably HBO Max, I imagine. It's a Warner Brothers movie, so
yeah,
Warner Brothers in collaboration with New Line Cinema. But yeah, man. I mean, the thing that haunted me the most too, like, because you have that cathartic release of like Gladys getting ripped apart by these kids, and Alex is able to kind of break the curse on all these people, right?
Yeah.
But then we learn from the creepy child narrator, these kids are still like, they're not like, they're still fucked up. None of them speak. Some of them eventually start speaking again. Some of them.
Yeah, but the parents, they're in like a home.
Yeah, his parents are in a home. Alex's parents are in a home. Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine, like, because they said just some of the kids eventually started speaking again. We don't know how long it took for them for that to happen, but imagine, like, that's some Stephen King shit. Like, all of Zach Cregger's influences were there, because like, it's like there's no happy ending to this. Like, like, these kids were gone for over a month, and like, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Bowen's kid, like, he doesn't speak.
Well, yeah, he's carrying him down the block.
Yeah,
and And just after also, seeing and doing what they did, that those kids did.
Yeah,
And then of course, I wouldn't be able to fucking speak. You know what I'm
true.
saying? After, you wake up and this is what you did. But
Oh,
it also could be based off of the fact of how long they were under.
it was over a month at
Yeah, no, but
least.
that's what I'm saying. How long they were under and how long it's going to take them to actually kind of work themselves back.
Yeah, and they were just fed on fucking soup by Alex.
Yeah.
This poor kid had to feed his parents and his classmates, and then still do his fucking homework.
17 of them niggas too.
Like, and because he had to keep up appearances. If you start slacking on homework, you start sleeping in class, child services get called. So he had to do so many things to keep us afloat. That kid's gonna be fun. Like, like trauma is a real motherfucker, and that's Zach Cregger's like thing. Like he talks a lot about how trauma impacts people and makes them do terrible things, or what it can do to you as a person, like just on an emotional level. So kudos to him for tackling some of this stuff. But yeah, like when they had that narration where it was like it cuts to black. It's like, and some of them eventually start talking again. Cut the credits.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I remember the time that like, that's a haunting ending. Holy shit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So it's funny. So, when Paul and I saw this, like, I felt like, because like Paula really doesn't like horror films. She really does. She's like, but she was glued to the screen. And like, that's like, this film is so intriguing on so many fronts. And it keeps pulling you in. And at just that point, you think that you're just like, okay, we're here, we've seen it all. It hits you with something else. But like, yeah, like this movie's really intriguing. And it's just like, and I remember watching the film and then like cutting my eyes on Paul and just seeing how she's doing. And she's just like, the entire time. I was like, oh, this thing is good. This thing is good. And like, there are some points where like, even I was just like, ugh, with some of the gore, but it was because the gore was actually played so well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what was the like grossest gory part? Was it like when the black blood was shooting out of Benedict Wong's mouth into his husband or something like that, or was it something worse?
No. I think for one, showing after the car accident,
Yeah,
the gunshot to the neck.
Oh
and
yeah,
to the head.
yeah.
And there was another one. I just can't I think of it. But it's like some of the stuff. It was kind of just like, oh my god, like those. It just had those moments. But like, yeah, man. It was like this movie's different. It's definitely different, to say the least.
And that's what I appreciate about Zach Cregger. Like for me, like I don't know if I like this as much as Barbarian. Like Barbarian was such a nice surprise, and I think the tonal shift halfway through when you get to the Justin Long story, I think was just so brilliantly done because you're like, how does this connect with what happened in the first act? Like how, and then it comes together. You're like, oh, he owns the house, blah blah blah. You're like, got it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just such a brilliant use of comedy and horror. This one, I really enjoy. I get the Magnolia influence. I don't know that it needed to be nonlinear. Like
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like I can see you're fucking with me, so I don't know fully what's going on, but I think you could still had like this just as effective, like with the midpoint being, and maybe that is when Gladys comes in, but it feels like you could have just done this a little bit cleaner, so it didn't have to be like it didn't have to appear as convoluted as it actually like more convoluted than it was.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. Like you said, like when we were breaking it down for Lluvia, like it actually is a pretty straightforward story. Like,
yeah,
like it's just a witch. It's a witch like that wreaks havoc on this town.
So I also like kind of the foreshadowing of like when they wrote witch on her car.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, there's actually a witch. It's not her, but there's actually a witch here. It was like, oh, because like I would have thought you put bitch, right? But then it was like witch. And I was like, okay, witch. And then you see what's actually going on. You're like, oh, that was telling us what was actually really happening.
Yeah, in Yuvia's research, she found some more early foreshadowing. Justine's lesson on parasites and Marcus watching a cordyceps documentary mirror Gladys's method of controlling others like parasitic organisms hijacking their host. Once she was the presentation on parasites, at first for me, I thought I was like, oh, is that like a Easter egg for like the faculty or something like that? Because Zach Cregger's like our age. So I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, like millennial references and stuff like that. But then like, ended up tying to that. And apparently young Matthew vanishes at 2:17 a.m., which is a reference to Matthew 2:17 in the book, which recounts the massacre of children in Bethlehem. Because I was wondering about the 2:17. I was like, what's the significance of the time?
Yeah.
So kudos to Zach Cregger for putting shit like that in there. And the gas station scene, a lottery sign shows $666 million, referencing the number of the beast. Jesus Christ. This is kind of dark that Lluvia pulled. Zach Cregger said Alex's dynamic with his parents was drawn directly from his own childhood with the alcoholic parent. The last chapter of this movie is straight up autobiographical. The supernatural element was added to soften the parallel, but the intended feeling is the same. The child becoming the caregiver in a hostile home. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. X.
Yeah. And then the actress that played Gladys was given two different backstories to choose from for Gladys. Option one, a human woman trying to turn dark magic out of desperation to cure illness. Or option two, a non-human creature clumsily disguising herself as a human. Interesting.
Yeah, I think the first one is actually that.
Yeah. She actually obviously chose one, but two would have been interesting too.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of see a little bit of that in her like performance, like her physical performance.
Yeah.
Man, she was fucking scary. She was really freaky, man. Yeah, folks, if you haven't seen Weapons, you got to see it just for her performance alone.
Yeah, no, you really do.
Apparently there might be a prequel about Gladys. Whether or not Zach Cregger ends up like writing and directing that is not yet to be seen, but that is worthy of a character to explore. Like, those kind of powers, and maybe she's part of a convent.
Yeah.
Like
there's also we're finding her at old age. It's like, where did this come from? 100%. How did she learn this?
Yeah.
Not how long has she been doing this?
Yeah, I mean, if fucking the Paranormal Activities and The Conjuring and all this stuff can do a bunch of spinoffs, you could do something with this.
Yeah.
Bring witchcraft back, baby. Come on. This movie grossed $254 million off a budget of $38 million. So kudos to them. Our producer
pulled up A24 didn't try to grab this. Not A24. What's the one? Is A24 that does all the horrors? No,
that's Monkey Paw. Well, and also Blumhouse.
Yeah, Blumhouse. That's what I meant.
They're under Universal. So that's the thing is like
so technically it's the same. Yeah.
Our producer put up some letterbox reviews for weapons that she thought we should read. The first one is from User Wake, who wrote Chapel Roan in 50 years hosting the Peak Pony Club in her basement. 4 out of 5 stars. Holy shit. She does like Chapel Roan in 50. Yo. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. All right. Jode66 wrote, Jordan Peele, I completely understand why you fired everybody. 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Fair.
Okay. Coffee wrote, you can tell this movie was made by a former sketch comedian because it's almost entirely set up for one really good bit. 3.5 out of 5 stars. That is true. Like you're kind of like, what is this building up towards? I will say the payoff worked. I was really worried. I was like, how are they going to stick the landing on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? You knew you were in good hands once she started running away from those kids.
Even like, just the gas station scene, when you see it as an entirety, you're like, oh, okay, like they're cooking now. There's something good going on here.
True.
Miko wrote, I'm just glad we're seeing kids go outside again instead of being glued to their iPad screens. 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, sure. They're just ripping up people.
Fair.
Okay, quick question before I read this last letterbox review. What I was trying to ask before about being like possessed and stuff. Do they feel the pain afterwards when they come to? Like, would those kids feel the pain of like barging through a wooden fucking door or like jumping?
They have to. They got to have some little broken up ribs and shit.
Okay. Because I'm like, it's like The Exorcist, right? Like you're gonna feel all the shit you went through.
Okay. Well, the body trauma. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably between that and like just their essence being taken by this witch. Yeah, they're fucked up. Damn.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks about what's so scary, and I wonder from your perspective as a parent about this. what's so fucking creepy and unsettling about this story is that these parents had no shot at like even being able to protect their kid from this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had no fucking idea that like this is what the nefarious deeds behind what was happening with their kids.
Yeah, and there was nothing that they could have done. Well, I mean, but isn't that just the world, though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bad things are going to happen, and there's really nothing that you can do. All you can do is hope for the best and hope that you're as prepared as possible. That's it.
Yeah.
It's literally life.
Yeah. This review is from it looks like a mushroom or a nipple icon. I can't tell which one.
I
But
imagine it's a mushroom.
they wrote, how do you think the teachers at Abbott Elementary would have handled this? 5 out of 5 stars. Woo! Actually,
that would have been great.
Dude, they might do a Halloween episode that's inspired by this. Where like one class just show up. Imagine,
amazing.
Dude, I can see them. Oh, that could be a fun episode. Or like the kids just pull a prank on the school, or like, yeah, I can see that happening in that show. That's a brilliant.
I can see a confessional. It's like, yeah, this is like that movie Weapons, and I don't like it.
We did get some Patriot thoughts on Weapons. And folks, remember when you sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/mediapopcorn, you're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews of that movie right on that episode. So JC Cuts wrote, one of the best of the year. Last 10 minutes were the wildest I spent in the theater this year outside the K-pop Demon Hunters sing-along, which considering the audience was not too far from actually living out the last 10 minutes of Weapons. Holy shit. And then Sean the Terrible wrote, very different and original. Didn't blow me away though. So it's not terrible, but it's also, could have been better. Justin, having said that, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. So guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies back to popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on the top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down, we watched the 2025 mystery horror film, Weapons. What say you, sir?
Yeah, man, this gets large. I love the last 30 minutes are awesome. I just love the originality, man. Like between this, Sinners, One Battle After Another, which is loosely based on a book. Like there's just some movies I've been seeing lately where I'm like, I just appreciate that we're getting some original shit, some stuff I haven't seen before. Like that chase scene with the kids and this old lady. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this before. I didn't think you could do something like this. In the year of our Lord 2025, I didn't think a studio could approve that. Because you literally are watching a bunch of children rip this old woman apart.
Yes.
And it's graphic, folks. It's not like they just like cut away and stuff. Like, no, you see them pulling at limbs and stuff.
You seeing legs off torso. Yeah. Like, yeah. You see her rip her jaw open. Yeah. Not fun. Not fun for her.
You see a dude get a syringe shot in his face, stabbed in his face.
When you say shot in his face,
it sounds like a cum shot.
But yeah.
Stabbed. Yeah. It was good, man. Great performances. We could have got a completely different cast, though, but I'll talk about that after we're done with our ratings. Justin, what's your rating?
All right, well, yeah, I'm giving this a large as well. It was, I'm going to keep it simple. It was riveting. Mm-hmm. It was riveting. It really kept you engaged. And like, it was just a riveting film. Like I really enjoyed watching it. I was completely just, I was in the moment with this, which is, not something you could necessarily say for a lot of films today.
100%. Yeah. So real quick, casting note. So because of the actor strike, Zach Cregger had to basically recast the whole thing. So initially in the Julia Garner role was going to be the actress that was in that movie that we loved, the international film, The Worst Person in the World. That actress was going to play the teacher role.
Okay.
Then Pedro Pascal was going to play the Josh Brolin role. Brian Tyree Henry was going to be the principal. And then this actor named Tom Burke, who was the weird guy in the last Mad Max movie, who was like kind of trying to help Furiosa. He was going to be.
Yeah.
He was going to be the cop.
The drug. Yeah. Oh, the cop. Okay, I thought it was going to be the drug.
He was going to be the cop. No, Austin Abrams is the only one that like stayed from the old cast. So Zach Cregger said like that's why like he when it came the opportunity to do the Resident Evil movie and cast it, I guess that he went with Austin Abrams, who was a solid young actor. So
interesting enough, I think Josh Brolin is the better option.
I think so
for
too.
this. Yeah, because
I don't see Pedro
um,
being that big of a dick. As much as he
uh,
might be a grieving father, I don't see. I think Pedro is a little. He's a softie, you know. He's a sweet. He gives like sweet uncle
yeah,
energy. You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't think it would have worked, and also he's not as intimidating.
Yeah,
Josh Brolin has he has some gruff to him.
he does.
Um,
By the way, I think
uh,
incredibly underrated as Thanos. I know a lot of people are like,
oh
"Oh,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
no motion capture, whatever." Like, I rewatched Infinity War not too long ago. Dude, he fucking made that movie. He was
hmm
awesome. Like from the first time you see Thanos finally in action, and when he has that whole monologue about his philosophy and like why he's doing what he's doing, I'm like, I kind of get it.
yeah.
Honestly, I kind of.
Well, I mean,
So many people. I'm granted mercy. I'm like, damn.
th- there is kind of uh parallels between him and Killmonger, in ways. It's
100%.
like in a way because you're just like Thanos was right, Killmonger was right.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah. Now let's just go down the line. I think what's that woman's name? Renat Reziv,
Yeah.
Renziv, the woman from The Worst Person in the World. She would definitely been a more attractive teacher than Julia Garner. Um,
She would have been more innocent.
I
No,
th-
not necessarily. That's not fair to Julia.
no. I think that she would. It would have changed the dynamic. I would rather Julia Garner's performance in this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I'd keep
It would have been
those
different.
two. Benedict Wong and Brian Tyree Henry.
I think Benedict Wong
I'm
were better because Brian Tyree Henry, black people would have been like, brother, you gonna
yeah,
let her in the house?
yeah. But also on top of that, uh, like I think it would have felt a little weird seeing him come running down the block and jumping on a white woman like that.
Oh, fair. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I was gonna say they both would have sold the comedy well. You know, Benedict Wong's reaction to seeing Glass for the first time, like
Yeah.
Brian Tyree Henry has those expressive eyes. You know, he would have been like, he would have. It would have there would have been memes of that face. You know, but to
Um,
your point, that's a good point though about him chasing
but
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that would
but
not have been
also the phone call. I think that phone call would have been a little bit more interesting.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
but it's still solid.
I,
The casting we
yeah,
got.
definitely still solid.
Yeah.
Huh.
And solid like this podcast, folks. Solid like this podcast.
Solid as a rock.
Uh, uh, uh. All right, folks. As always, you can follow the show, Medium P
That's
Podcast,
all
on all social media platforms. Be sure to go to youtube.com/medium popcorn and push that subscribe button so you get alert about all future reviews and celebrity interviews we have on the channel. If you're feeling worthy of supporting the show a little bit on a higher level, please take yourself over to coffee.com/medium popcorn, ko-fi.com/medium popcorn. Support us by donating the equivalent of a small coffee or medium
Mhm.
popcorn. It all helps the show. And Justin, if people want to follow you as well as support the show financially on a more consistent basis than just coffee.com for the
Mhm.
donation, what can they do, my brother?
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the social media platforms, but you can support this show on Patreon. Patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. We have so much bonus content on there, guys. That's where you need to be. Patreon, Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/medium popcorn. Check it out.
Mm-hmm. And you can also follow me, folks, at Frodo_Blackens on Threads and Instagram, FrodoBlackens.com for show dates. I got shows coming up all over the place with Drunk Black History and What the Film and all that good stuff. So again, FrodoBlackens.com. All right,
Mhm.
y'all. Stay safe out there. And if you wake up and it's 2:17, you need to ask yourself, do you know where your children are?
Classic.
All right.
Classic.
Talk to y'all soon. Peace.